with shields, with walls, not only physical walls, but also mental walls. I don't want to get into it because it's another lecture, but I'll just give the 3 principles which enable us Israelis to live so easily with this brutal reality. A, most of the Israelis, if not all of them, deeply believe that we are the chosen people. And if we are the chosen people, we have the right to do whatever we want. B, there were more brutal occupations in history. There were even longer occupations in history, even though the Israeli occupation gets to quite a nice record. But there was never in history an occupation in which the occupier presented himself as the victim. Not only the victim, the only victim around. This also enables any Israeli to live in peace.
Mano, esse é um judeu falando, velho, é verdade. Caramba, que Deus o proteja.
Victims. The other day...
Mano, olha lá, ó, o lobby de Israel, isso é bom para os Estados Unidos? É bom para Israel? Que loucura, mano.
Professor Falk spoke about this dual strategy of Israel, being a victim on one hand and manipulating on the other hand. After what happened in Paris and in Copenhagen with the terror attacks, Benjamin Netanyahu came with the notion, all the Jews must come to Israel. It's the safest place for the Jews in the world. It's a shelter for the Jews in the world. Which is wrong, because Israel is today the most dangerous place on earth for Jews, but let's put it aside. It was only 24 hours later when he said Israel is an existential threat under the Iranian bomb. And I asked myself, how can you dare call Jews to come and to join this suicidal project when the Iranians are going to bomb us? But in Israel, everything goes, and both declarations were accepted as the only truth. And here I get to the third set of values which enable us Israelis to live in peace with the occupation. And this is maybe the most crucial one and the worst one. We say victimization, we say chosen people. When I say victimization, it goes without saying we have to mention the Holocaust and the unforgettable Mrs. Golda Meir that the American jury had exported to Israel. She said once, this unforgettable woman, that after the Holocaust, the Jews have the right to do whatever they want.
Meu Deus, velho.
But the third set of values is the most dangerous one. And this is the systematic dehumanization of the Palestinians, which enable us Israelis to live in peace with everything. Because if they are not human beings like us, then there's not really a question of human rights. And if you scratch under the skin of almost every Israeli, you will find, it goes without saying, we have to mention the Holocaust and the unforgettable Mrs. Golda Meir that the American jury had exported to Israel. She said once, this unforgettable woman, that after the Holocaust, the Jews have the right to do whatever they want. But the third set of values is the most dangerous one. And this is the systematic dehumanization of the Palestinians, which enable us Israelis to live in peace with everything. Because if they are not human beings like us, then there's not really a question of human rights. And if you scratch under the skin of almost every Israeli, you will find it there. Almost no one will treat the Palestinians as equal human beings like us. I once wrote that we treat the Palestinians like animals, and I got so many protest letters from animal rights organizations, rightly so. But by the end of the day, how many Israelis did ever try for a moment to put themselves in the place of the Palestinians for a moment, for one day? And I want to give you 2 examples which will demonstrate it. Many years ago, I interviewed then candidate for Prime Minister, Ehud Barak. And I asked him a question which I try to ask in any occasion. Mr. Barak, what would have happened if you would have been born Palestinian? And Barak gave me then the only honest answer he could give me. He said I would have joined a terror organization. What else would have he done? Would he become a poet? He doesn't know to write poems. Would he become a pianist? He's quite a bad pianist. And I doubt if he would have become a collaborator because he is a fighter. And it became a scandal. Because how can you dare to put Ehud Barak to think what would have happened if he would have become a Palestinian? And the second incident, briefly, Second Intifada, the city of Jenin, the most closed city in the West Bank, real total siege. I go out from Jenin, I come to the checkpoint, a Palestinian ambulance is parking there with the red lights. I stand after him, no cars can get out of Jenin in those days, no cars can get in, and I wait. The soldiers are playing Begamon in the tent. Usually I know myself. It's better that I don't get...
Eu acredito nele. Só que ele tá coragem de judeu tá falando essas verdades, mano. O que tá acontecendo?
Into confrontation with the soldiers because it always ends up very...
Imagina a pressão que ele vai sofrer lá.
Badly. So I stayed in the car, but after 40 minutes I couldn't take it, and I went out from the car. I went first to the Palestinian ambulance driver and I asked him, what's going on? He told me that's the routine. They let me wait 1 hour until they come and check the ambulance. And I couldn't take it anymore. And I went to the soldiers. It became a confrontation. But the question that I asked them, which really brought them to direct their weapons toward me, was, what would have happened if your father would have been lying in this ambulance? This freaked them out. They lost control. How can I dare to compare between their father and the Palestinian in the ambulance?
E tem muitos deles que sofrem com isso, sabem a verdade, mas se eles se mostram igual está fazendo, cai tudo, né? A vida deles, tudo não tem que fazer, né? O sistema tá muito ali.
And this set of beliefs that they are not human beings like us enable us Israelis to live in so much peace with those crimes, ongoing crime for so many years, with losing any kind of humanity, values. I heard today people talk about Jewish values. I must be frank with you, I don't know what are Jewish values. I know what are universal values. Let's not get into it, really.
E se você gostou desse vídeo, não deixe de deixar seu like e compartilhar.
Vê? Tem judeu bom aí, lutando, se arriscando, pra falar a verdade, né? Enquanto um monte de cristão que tá lá, né? Na verdade, eles não estão protegendo Israel, esses cristãos. Eles querem tomar o lugar de Israel, né? Os protestantes, a maior parte deles. Não todos. Eles são aliancistas, né? Eles não entendem a diferença do reino do céu e da terra, desse quântico aqui e da Torá viva lá em Israel. Então, isso aí vocês sabem quem é da escola, né? Imagina, né? O cara tá no meio do fogo cruzado. É triste, né? Triste, triste. Mas beleza, Deus sabe o que faz. Então, mas vocês têm a verdade, acordem eles, viu o erro, fala, meu, você tá defendendo um país que bate recorde de aborto, de ateísmo, de promiscuidade, que tem fotos Rothschilds no Supremo? Vocês estão defendendo a falsa Israel, que odeia Cristo até hoje? Só isso. Entendeu? Vocês têm que falar, vocês são a verdade viva. Vocês não falarem, vocês estão do lado da mentira. Vocês são a verdade viva. Brilhem, sejam. Porque senão vai sofrer todo mundo. Daqui a pouco o mundo, de um jeito ou de outro, tá vazando já, né? Aí vão colocar todos no mesmo barco. Vai sofrer. A Torá vai sofrer. Se vocês não separarem o joio do trigo. Se vocês disserem que essa é a verdadeira Israel, o mundo vai pegar raiva com razão. Então não é, vocês não podem fazer isso.